shared knowledge.
Sharing is caring.
Sharing is always caring. I love to share, as you know.
So basically, you're finding the God sense where it says, God says, I am that I am.
Mm-hmm.
So literally, since a bird is a bird, a tree is a tree. And what you're saying in general is that most people aren't who they are. We become who we thought we were, or the image that we portrayed we were. And sometimes
we believe it.
We believe in things that are outside of who we are.
And we become those things, which is the crazy part.
Once you become these things, you're not, I am that I am. You are what you think you are at that point.
Finding home, it gets harder.
And so the self-confidence that you're finding now, you don't have to put into what you wear, what you ideology you think, or the bigger house you have, or the expensive car you drive, because now you know your worth. And your worth now is not put into outside things, it's put into inside things. And those inside things can also generate what we call material possessions.
Right. What is the definition of rich?
Right.
I am richer than most millionaires. I know that because I have knowledge and abilities and awareness of things that I am capable of and know that I'm capable of.
Right.
And there are people who pay, who buy, who, spend their life just searching for things. But the truth is, the search, you need not to go anywhere.
Right.
It's within self.
So in that, experiencing black love as opposed to worldly love is an experience you've experienced that's unlike any other.
Yes.
That cannot be purchased.
No.
Cannot be believed.
No.
You must be that what it is.
Mm-hmm.
As God says, I am that I am. And so black love is what it is.
Yes.
And so to communicate to yourself and to be able to connect with the world, not the world itself, but with nature and God itself, you're enabled to go back and forth and having a relationship. And now you're able to extend that relationship to other people.
Yes,
and
without
now you're
judgment.
experiencing love in its pure form, and not necessarily that of a storybook or of a magazine or of a movie
or a belief system
or something you believed in your head based on what you've seen.
Right, the traditions that we are raised, and for me, there's nothing wrong with traditions. There's nothing wrong with ways of someone introducing you, as long as you as a human being you're holding yourself accountable and doing the research within yourself and recognizing, okay, this is who I am, this is who I'm not, or recognizing, you know what, I was raised with this, but doesn't mean that it is who I am.
Right.
And I think that a lot of people become something that they're not because that's what they were taught to become.
Right.
In order for you to be successful, you have to be a lawyer, you have to be a doctor. That concept, that belief system. In some cases, yes. In other cases, no. You can be successful without being a lawyer, without being a doctor, which I'm just using as vague examples. But the point is, it goes back to the concept of just recognizing who are you.
Right. So in turn, really what we have to do, what I'm hearing, is that you have to redefine or reevaluate the existing terms of which we live by.
Communicating with self.
Right. To communicate and explore the right things. So therefore, we have to establish what is truly communication, what is truly love, what is a man, what is a woman, who is God, and what is the nature of God. And if you understand the nature of yourself, you understand the nature of God, because there can't be any differentiation between the creator and his creation. So therefore, what I'm saying is that experiencing love in its pure form, you have to examine love, the definition of love, the definition of communication. Because if a person says, I love you physically, it's not the same as they say they love you mentally. And it's not the same as when they say, I love you spiritually.
Yeah, clarify that, please, for me, because there are a lot of people who are in love. And let me tell you, they're loving the wrong thing because they weren't told with clarity, I just love you for your legs. I just love you for those eyes. I just love you for those, that big heart that you got, that you love me so well. Well, let's clarify. How do you love me?
Right. And so to understand that goes back to communication. If I communicate through physical means, meaning I express myself only through physical gifts and how strong I am, I'm going to see love in terms of physicality. How well do I have sex? How, big is my penis? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How much do I spend? As opposed to spirituality, asking that question. Now you have to look at the person's character in whole and not just a part. Where mentally you might love them for conversation or the way they think. That's still just a part.
Yes.
So when you look at spirituality, you have to look at yourself as a spiritual being in order to connect or ask the correct questions to know if a person loves you spiritually, mentally, or physically.
Because all three of them together, that's the only way it's going to make sense. Most people are into this one-dimensional love where they just, I have love for you, or they just, I love her because she's been with me or he's been with me for several years. But the truth is, what else do you love? Do you love their soul? Do you love their minds? Do you love everything outside? If they were to lose physically everything, would you still then be there loving them?
Right.
So it's like that clarity. I think that when people get into even relationships or marriages, and why there's so many divorces is because the concept of being able to have a dialogue about how you love me is so taboo. But it's as if they just accept, oh, they love me, so they love everything about me.
Right, but see, that's the miscommunication because you can't communicate if you don't know who you are. You can't communicate the correct things
if you don't know who you are.
If you don't know.
Yeah, and most people struggle in that area.
The thing about knowledge is we're all ignorant. As you become smart in one category, you become dumb in another because you can't know all things at all times. That's why it takes a village to raise a community. So what she knows, I don't know. And what I know, she doesn't know. And so when you have that village, it creates the whole.
And we explore those other things and subject matters that we're weak in by connecting with people who are strong in those subject matters. Right, and then we find that balance.
Right. And so we go into relationships trying to communicate to people who are broken because coming out of and I'm going to speak for this